Can you enjoy Christmas dinner and still stay in ketosis?
Today, we'll find out. Hey everyone, welcome to Pop Keto, where we aim to help you live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle.
Christmas is coming, and today we are talking about the all-important Christmas dinner.
So last year when we had one of these Christmas planning chats, we had a bit of a talk about what you could do over Christmas, whether or not you wanted to stay keto, whether you wanted to give yourself some time off. Today, we're going to address whether you can stay on the keto diet over the Christmas period.
And I think you'll be quite surprised that it's actually not as difficult as you think.
So we just thought we'd frame this by going from arriving and having some nibblies on arrival and perhaps a couple of drinks all the way through, and especially to have a look at dessert at the end.
All-important dessert.
What can we do there? Now, one of the things that we're going to say up front is that whether you're having Christmas dinner at your place or whether you're going to somebody's place for Christmas dinner, I'd say it's important for you to actually have something for dessert.
I think the reason for that is that you don't want to make yourself feeling like you're missing out on something. So, you know, if other family members or friends are having Christmas pudding, if you've got something that you've pre-prepared, whether it be like a chocolate cake and you've made yourself some delicious custard and you're putting that together, you're still enjoying something that is like really delicious, and you know that you are still staying on track on your keto plan.
And this may or may not be a consideration for you, but if your family's enjoying their Christmas pud, watching you just sitting there, it sort of takes away from some of the fun of that part of the meal. So you having something and being able to join in, I think that's a great thing. So let's jump in. Okay, so you arrive at Christmas dinner and people are offering you something to drink. What are you going to have? Now, there's easy answers to that. If you really want to go keto, there's sparkling water. There is water, but there are other options that have got a bit more flavor to them.
Kombucha is another good option to have as a drink as well. There are some great flavors out there, so just make sure that you're picking a kombucha that has little to no sugar.
And then of course there's the alcoholic drinks. Now generally your wines are going to have less carbs than your beers, so try avoid the beers. If you're after wine, look for dry wines, so some dry whites and reds. The drier, generally the less carbs that they have. And then your spirits can also be a low carb option, so brandies, vodka, whiskey, gin, those sort of things. Just watch what you're having them with. Just watch how much you have, because I've mentioned this in the mulled wine video that we did a couple of weeks ago, that on ketosis, your body might not be able to handle as much alcohol as you're previously used to. And then we move on to the nibblies, and generally at Christmas time, there's gonna be a cheese board or a cheese platter of some kind.
Yep.
So let's make our way through that. Cheeses. Most
cheeses are good. You've got your brie, your camembert, I know I like smoked cheese actually.
Yeah.
I love it. Your cheddars, all of those. Generally
pretty good.
Yeah, generally pretty good.
And then usually continuing on the platter, there'll be some charcuterie, some dried meats, some cold cooked meats. Mm-hmm. What do we think? Good, bad?
I would tend to avoid it generally just because of the dextrose. If you're wanting to stay strict, this is where you have to start creating some boundaries. And this is where I'd probably say maybe not so much.
Can I just maybe put in here there though, that if you can see the packaging as it's being put out and you can have a quick glance at it and have a look for it yourself at the ingredients and you're happy with that, go for it. I mean, that pretty much goes with anything. If you can see the packaging and the ingredients, make the call yourself.
Yeah, but this is that's exactly right. But I guess in this context as well, we're talking about being really strict, clean keto. So this is where we don't want Christmas to be a case of analyzing every single detail. This is just to give you a good framework to sort of make your decisions. But yes, cheese is a good place to start. Usually along with cheese boards, there'll be crackers and things like that. So here, again, if you're wanting to stay strict keto, you can make your own crackers. We've got a recipe as well that is super easy to prepare and just bake yourself. It's super easy, so you don't have to feel like you're missing out.
And if you make a big batch of them and you've got some friends who might be on keto or low carb, you can even package it up and give it off as a little gift.
Yeah, but I think the thing with these crackers is that they're actually just really tasty as well. So I think it's not just something that you would just enjoy. I think it would be something that everyone would enjoy as well.
Now also on the platter, there's usually some dried fruit and some olives. The dried fruit would probably recommend you don't touch. So it's going to be things like apricots and raisins, grapes, all sort of high fructose sort of things. So just maybe give them a miss.
And if there are things like berries and things like that, they should be fine. Even though I don't think
Small amounts.
Yeah, small amounts.
So let's move on to the mains. Usually the big feature dish of the main is either a roast or a big side of salmon or something like that. Good news is most of that you're going to be able to tuck into.
Yeah, absolutely. Most roasts, pretty much all of them, and even all the veggies that go along with that, you'll be fine. So generally in terms of the mains, you're going to be okay.
That's it. You're going to want to look out for stuffings. You want to look out for gravies. If they're coming pre-packaged, if you can make your own, brilliant.
Right.
You know, and gravy's not hard. If you've got the meat juices and you just whack some xanthan in there and a bit of salt and pepper and garlic and whatever, not too difficult to make your own.
And you've made some recently. It was like so delish, so rich, and it was amazing. And
we did that with the turkey recipe. So if you are looking to make a turkey, our recipe is pretty darn good, if I say so. I will put a link here.
But it certainly helps if you're a bit lost in terms of finding a way to do a turkey. Yeah, that's definitely a place to start your search. So I mentioned that with veggies, you should generally be fine. Now, obviously, there is a little exception here. The big grand potato or the spud. Everyone loves their potato. I know, yes, I totally understand. But
you're wanting to stay keto, so this is how you're going to do that.
Yeah, and it's not a big deal breaker as such. There are alternatives. So if you're looking to, you like your roast potato and you like the crunch aspect, what you could do like if there's a pork roast, for example, having some of that crackling, I think will help that.
Or if you prefer mashed potatoes, you can always make a cauliflower mash, and it is so yum. Put a bit of garlic in there.
That's it. You can do a lot with that.
Put some nutmeg to make it a bit more Christmassy.
It's nice and buttery.
Now, sometimes in your selection of sides, there might be things like pies and breaded or crumbed bits and pieces you can nibble on. Generally, you'll probably want to leave them alone and go for some of the higher quality foods like your Brussels sprouts, like your cream cabbage. Oh, how good's cream cabbage?
Oh.
So there is plenty there for you to get stuck into.
Okay, the all-important desserts. The thing here is that even if you're staying on strict keto, desserts is not a complete deal breaker. So there will be some things that you have to choose to not have.
But it just takes a bit of planning up.
It does, it absolutely does. So in this situation, if you're staying on strict keto, there are plenty of options in terms of cakes and cheesecakes and a whole lot of different sweets that you can actually prepare in advance. And also under desserts is the all-important chocolates. And the good news is with chocolates, there are low carb and keto options.
And depending on how fancy you want to go, you could even melt that chocolate down and find some molds and make your own Christmas chocolates. And again, if you've got friends who are doing low carb and keto, that'd make a nice little gift as well.
Yeah.
I mean, by this time, you may have already eaten enough and you may not want to do chocolate. That's absolutely a fine option too.
But there's always room for chocolate. So we hope that this has helped you, and I guess the key thing that we wanted to convey was really that you just need to plan in advance if you're wanting just to stay on strict keto. It's not a deal breaker, that you still can enjoy Christmas dinner and still have treats, but the key thing is to plan in advance.
So that is where we're going to wind up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this far, we really appreciate it. If you're one of our subscribers, big thank you to you guys. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, have a look at some of our other videos and see if we're fitting in with the sort of thing that you're looking for.
We want to wish you and your family a wonderful Christmas.
Stay happy, stay healthy, and we will still have a video for you next week. Bye everyone.
Bye.